Here's the deal. This guitar is so What the hell did I just censor myself with? Keep watching. Let's talk about this X Series limited edition Jackson Kelly HT. Roll the intro.
Hey guys, this is Gus G and you're watching Guitar Gear Guy. Thank you for tuning in.
Hello everyone, and how are you? This is yours truly, Triple G, coming at you once again. This channel is sponsored by my own damn wallet and brought to you by your engagement. So, I am the biggest hack job here on YouTube. I have no skills to speak of as my playing is pretty damn sloppy. I honestly suck at guitar, but my love for guitars is undeniable. In this episode, I talk about this limited edition, a collaboration between Jackson and Blizzard. I'll share my 2 cents you tuned in for. X Series limited edition Kelly KE HT with Amaranth fingerboard Diablo. That is mouthful. That is the official name of this guitar, however, you will see published by Jackson. So X Series is the second tier from the bottom of Jackson's lineup, as the JS series is the entry-level guitars aimed at absolute noobs just getting into guitars or kids just starting out, basically for friendly for beginners. And the X series sits right above where you start seeing some better features like set neck construction and somewhat improved appointments. And this guitar, as the name suggests, is one of the X Series guitars that Jackson puts out. And Jackson and Blizzard, I mean, that's an unholy alliance, came up with this concoction, appropriate looking axe for the new Diablo 4 Lord of Hatred expansion coming up. So, early part of the last decade, when the original Diablo 3 came out, I spent some ridiculous amount of time playing that game. The memories. Anyhow, the longtime channel followers will know that I'm an absolute slut for the Explorer shaped guitars, including the Kelly model by Jackson. So when I saw this thing, I was like, oh my God, a Jackson Kelly. That's wearing something reminding me of some good times I had with my own children, actually, as I made both of my kids go farm for gold and shit like that way back when. I just had to see if I could get one of these. And then I thought I saw somewhere this being a limited run of 300 or so, something which is a marketing move that certainly works for suckers like myself. The body is made of Nayato in a classic Jackson Kelly shape. There are ever so slight bevels on the back of the body, but you will not find any belly cuts or contours causing the edges to actually dig into your body a little bit. And as the guitar is one of the marketing promotion material things for the game coming out, you'll see some graphics adorned on the front and the rear of the body and back of the neck right here, and also the fretboard. The neck is a through-body one-piece maple neck. The neck features a graphite reinforcement and scarf joint according to the spec sheet. And make no mistake about it, it's a Jackson metal guitar, and naturally you see their compound radius 12 to 16 inch fretboard. And speaking of the fretboard, the board is made of amaranth, and I personally don't know too much about amaranth, where it sits compared to, like, you know, ebony, rosewood, and maple, etc. However, I'm sort of suspecting it's not an expensive toned wood because it's featured on their X series of guitars. So while I don't know if they dyed the board or not, because I actually don't know the characteristics of an amaranth, it is at least darker than something like Palfero. The theme of this guitar, I just think that anything dark is the way to go. And that all said, I would have loved the blackest of a black ebony board on this guitar. The guitar is pretty simple with just one active Jackson pickup in the bridge position and a single volume knob. The bridge is Jackson's own hardtail, not much to see here. 24 jumbo frets naturally, and tuners are that of Jackson die-cast tuners. The guitar does come with Jackson's gig bag, which does the job of holstering the guitar away from dust and scratches while in storage. However, it does not provide much protection against any impact, and as you can see, all these pointy bits, I mean, this is gonna get dinged up without proper protection. And then the 1.6875 inches plastic nut sits under the headstock. All right, so the specs were pretty mouthful. So these are my opinions only, and opinions and not facts. So if you agree to disagree, you can come at me if I say something you don't want to hear. However, you tuned in to hear my opinions. So that's what I am going to give you. This guitar sells for $1,300. An X series guitar for that price is absolutely absurd. It's ridiculous. And if you ask me, it's a highway robbery based on its appointments, as you heard me rattle off the specs. I completely understand that Jackson isn't pumping out thousands of this as a regular production model. However, I get that it's a limited edition wearing this graphics package, which some diehard Diablo lovers probably will dig, whilst potentially not appealing to those who can't give two shits about the Diablo expansion. Basically, the inflated price tag comes from the graphics package, not necessarily the overall specs of the guitar. So let's keep discussing. The tuners are in-house tuners, nothing remarkable. As I always say though, guitars costing more than $1,000, I just feel strongly that they must come with locking tuners, even if they are in-house brand. And then the bridge is also nothing to write home about. No hip shot here, it looks like one. The single bridge pickup, yep, you guessed it, it's a Jackson branded pickup. I didn't open up the guitar like Trogley style to see if the pickup is an OEM by like another reputable company or not, but we are not talking EMGs or Duncans or Fishman here. Although it would be kind of funny if I open this up and if it's actually made by one of those, just private labeled. But I digress. At this point, I'm actually thankful that they included a 9-volt battery for $1,300 this thing costs. Nyato, the wood used for the body, is often used for cost-cutting type of material. It's fine for what it is, I guess, but not necessarily a renowned tone wood. Amaranth used for the fretboard. Again, I don't know too much about it. Is it better wood than something like rosewood or ebony? I actually don't know. Let me know in the comment down below if you know. What I am getting at, however, is that Jackson used the same bits they use for their other X series guitars, normally priced ranging from like $700 to $900 mostly, where some archtop ones cost maybe around $1,000. So they decided to jack up the price to $1,300 just because the guitar has this visual package. They didn't even give you the Diablo fret inlays all the way down the neck. It's only on the 1st, 3rd, and the 5th fret. The graphics package is what you would expect. It probably is a super cool to a 12-year-old. It's the same cheap job under the clear gloss spray. They have a name for this. It's like, I forget what they call it. A photosynthesis. What's the process where they print the photo and then they lay it under the glossy coat and then they just spray over it to have the things stay there? They commonly do that for like the Les Pauls, where they have the thin veneer flame maple, like a printed or just very thin layer, and then they slap that on top of the mahogany and then they just clear coat over it. So it's that same process that they used here. So, you know, it is what it is. So far you've heard me bitching about the price based on the specs. However, I am the one that always says, who gives a shit how a guitar looks as long as it plays well, sounding absolutely epic. So let's talk about that. It indeed plays fine. It is a Jackson metal guitar after all. And I have super dry hands, by the way, so the glossy neck doesn't really bother me as much as it would bother bros with some sweaty paws on stage. However, I would have much preferred a satin neck for obvious reasons. They indeed put the title of the game on the back of the neck, which right here it says Lord of the Hatred, which it needs a gloss coat to cover it, so maybe the title could have gone on the like a headstock and then they could have made the neck satin. I don't know. And then the active pickup sounds, reasonable. But for a $1,300 guitar, maybe, especially when you're only getting one pickup, maybe a the high level pickup would have been a nice touch. The pickup sounds somewhat muffled and a little bit stuffy to me, although hiding behind like a super massive high gain flavors it to disguise the limitations of the pickup a little bit. And I know it's like an Appleton orange type of comparison, but like PRS DMO pickups, which I showed you in this episode, those pickups are like wide and open sounding, whereas this pickup sounds like it's kind of backed into a corner of an alley without a clear exit. It just kind of, it sounds a little bit, what's the word? It sounds like, it just sounds somewhat limited. It's always so hard to explain what the pickup sounds like. But I don't have another Jackson with this exact same pickup, so it was my first time. I don't necessarily hate this pickup, but I don't necessarily love it. It is possible I may throw on one of my EMGs sitting in a bin in the garage at some point down the future. So it is a promotional collaboration between two big names. Did Jackson have to pay Blizzard for licensing, or did Blizzard pay Jackson to put these out? Either way, is Jackson putting that expense onto you as a customer? I have no clue. This guitar without the graphics package, I at best a $700 to $800 tops, and that's me being generous. It's only like $150 cheaper than my Pro Plus metal Kelly I have, and that guitar has all the right bits. And then Kelly Jeff Loomis, which I have 3 of, far superior than this, while only costing just a hair more than this thing. And obviously you could tell I love Jackson guitars. I got a few dozen guitars in my collection from Jackson, but I gotta be honest, this is them, gouging you under the mask of limited edition moniker. This guitar is so overpriced for what it is, you definitely should think twice before you consider buying one. That's what I alluded to in the beginning when I censored myself. I would spring for the Phil Demmel edition of a Fury HT. I showed you some episodes back. I'll link it right here. Over this guitar, this model. Overall playability and tone versatility while saving a few dollars. It's actually cheaper than this. That said, this Diablo does look good hanging on my wall though. And then, as I'm filming this, just yesterday, Epiphone came out with their Futura Explorer. That guitar costs $900, which is full $400 cheaper than this. Got a neck pickup, bridge pickup, and a versatility of splitting the tone, the phase shifting. It's got stainless steel frets, locking tuners. That thing is so much more, better equipped, and it's $400 cheaper. And it's got some cool color shifting going on as well. So, take that for what it's worth as far as my reference point in terms of why I feel this guitar is somewhat overpriced. All right, so that's it for this episode. I'll be back in a few weeks with another episode talking another guitar of mine. Until then, you guys be good humans. I'm out.